Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma. With me today, I've got an amazing musician who has been brought to my attention by Tom Stevens, who's our mutual friend. And I just can't wait to get into knowing a bit more about this chap and also a bit more about his music. So please welcome to the show. I'm going to say again, but we'll get into that in a moment. Matt Roberts.
Hello, again. Hello. How's it going, Jam?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. And if anybody wants to know the reason why I'm saying again, we have recorded this episode prior to this. However, my audio decided not to record, and I reached out to Matt and I said, I did try to sort of record the audio again, but it just didn't sit right. So Matt very, very kindly said that he would come back on and record again with me. So thank you ever so much for that.
It's no problem.
I know. I'm going to go out and buy all of your CDs now. Biggest fan.
All you have to do is just get lots of listeners over the next few weeks. That's all I need. Just lots of listeners.
Okay, no problem at all. We can arrange that, I'm sure. So I'll send the salty tadpoles out to you. So that's what we call our listeners. The salty tadpoles.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Get it done. Yes. Yeah, I'm relying on you now.
Well, there you go. See, the pressure's on, guys and girls. So, Matt, how has lockdown been for you?
Which version are we talking? We're talking one or two?
Well, a bit of both, really, I suppose.
Okay. In a high-level overview, version 1 was extremely productive. Version 2 is a bit more surreal, is how I would describe them.
Yeah, because I can get... Yeah, because it just seems... I don't know. I don't know about what it's like, because obviously, as you know, I'm in Dorset, and I don't know what it's like in your area, so to speak. Pardon the pun. but,
my area's fine. No, it's yeah. How can I describe it? I mean, I think the main difference that everybody's kind of noticed, like for me, from my kind of standpoint, when we went into lockdown version 1, I was like, okay, well, that's fine because I spend most of my time at home anyway, so I've got no issue. And plus the fact it was summer, so that really took the sting off it. But I think version 2, everyone was like, this is You kind of knew what was going to happen. Yeah. So I think, in all honesty, version 2 has been probably a little bit trickier mentally because I know what's happening. This time I don't have much of an outlet because I've done like my album. I've started the sequence in terms of getting the first single. So that's out. Yeah. Second single's out this Friday. Album's out on the 11th. So I'm like twiddling my fingers like, what else can I do? So yeah, it's a very interesting one, version 2.
Yeah. But, So yeah, lots of productiveness in lockdown 1. So that's good though, isn't it? Because I don't know if it will be, but hopefully this one is only going to be for a couple more. Well, about a week or so now, isn't it?
Yeah, so should be. It's not this time next week, but obviously next week we should be out and ready to rock and roll. And then see what the new year brings us. I guess.
We shall see. I have a feeling still that we're going to be in lockdown, but I think because like in where I'm from anyway, people just seem to be mulling around and doing exactly the same as they were anyway before lockdown.
Yeah.
They took it a bit more seriously the first time round, I think. So
yeah, I completely agree with you.
So we'll see. But anyway, that's boring. We don't want to talk about coronavirus, do we? So
enough about people have been locked up in houses. Let's talk about something else.
Yes, exactly. So would you like to just tell us a little bit about yourself and like your journey so far?
Sure. Yeah, no worries at all. So I think the best place to begin will probably be wine music. So ever since I was a little boy, music's been so prevalent in my life. Lots of family members have always been so focused within music. My dad being probably one of the biggest influences in that kind of area. I have very vivid flashbacks where I had like magazines set out. I had drumsticks, and I was smacking the pads along to Phil Collins and Genesis. He bought me my first bass guitar when I wanted to get into bass. So yeah, my dad's always been at the forefront when it comes to like my musical taste. But yeah, I went to university. I did a form of a music degree.
Okay.
Not when I say music degree, it's not like, oh yes, I studied the concertos of Mozart. It was nothing like that. I literally went into university and I was tasked to write songs. I was in the recording studio, like recording stuff. I was playing on the radio, alongside doing essays, alongside a multitude of things. So, that course was very insightful. I made so many friends, within Cardiff. So I studied in Cardiff, and, I was very fortunate to kind of be at the birth, of probably the evolution of the Welsh music scene.
Yeah.
And, saw some absolutely gigantic bands. They were already obviously within the cycle of what they were doing, but I caught them just before they were getting big. So when I kind of flash back, I think, oh my God, that's just incredible. Like they went on tour like Limp Bizkit. One of them had, one of them was supporting the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking, it's just insane. Like I've had a drink with you, and now you're off to go and do that. It's just absolutely nuts. But it's just fantastic at the same time. So I got a lot of inspiration in my songwriting just after I finished uni, and I wasn't like a comfortable singer then, probably not as much as I am now at all. And I started writing like very rocky songs, like very heavy instrumental. I wasn't singing on them at all. And I just kind of thought I needed to up my game a little bit. And I left Cardiff, moved to Bristol. That's when I started writing my first kind of, it was meant to be an album essentially, but it kind of turned into an EP.
Okay.
But the great thing about it is that I started to kind of really find my feet on the recording process again, because I did it in uni, but it wasn't such a heavy focus because I was the one behind the glass screen. I was the dancing monkey.
Yeah.
Whereas this time I'm the man with like the whip, like you shall do this. So it's a hard thing to kind of do, is to produce your own music and also write at the same time. You have to be so hypercritical of yourself. It's a mind game, it really is.
Yeah.
So I had one of my friends kind of pushed me, and he said, because we were talking on holidays, like, so how's your music coming along? So, oh man, I really wish I should just pull the trigger and do this. Because have you got enough money to do it? I went, yeah. It's like, well, do it. I'm like, yeah, I really should do it. So we got back on holiday, bought all this music gear, and it's always kind of just traveled with me. So yeah, about 5 years later down the line, I'm in Bristol in this lovely flat, and I've started writing music. And I had a quick walk after work today, and I realized again how music is just, it caters for everybody, but also doesn't. It's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so subjective.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It is.
So for what appeals to me, Gem, will not appear to you. And I think that's a great thing. It should never be a negative thing. And my music influences, it just ranges entirely, because different songs resonate to me on so many different levels. It could be the fact that it's the chorus, the melody that's really hooked me, the fact it's really poppy, or it could be the production, like, oh, wow, I love how that kind of drum sound, or oh, wow, holy hell, that guitar sounds insane. Like, what's he done to get that sound? And that's how music kind of resonates to me, rather than your average, sorry, that sounds really arrogant.
No,
rather than
it doesn't.
You little people listening on your little iPods over there. God.
It doesn't sound arrogant. But I know what you mean. It's like some people have got it tuned in to listening to the background, literally listening to every bit of it.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, like myself, are programmed to almost, my songs are probably memory related rather than, actually physically songs. I think, well, I was going to say, I think I've said before, but nobody knows this. It's like I always listen out for the bass, because the bass is the favourite instrument in the band for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you got the drums is the heartbeat, and the veins are the sort of, no, the bass is the veins. I put it so elegantly before.
Yeah.
But the bass is the veins that sort of hold it all together, sort of thing. So
yeah, I know what you mean. It's interesting. It really is, and I think that's why like music is always going to stick with me. I've had, actually, I'll be honest with you today. I had one moment today where I thought, should I just pack music in? And within like 2 seconds, I went, nah, you're joking. You're never going to pack music in. Yeah, because it's my persona. It's literally who I am. I mean, right now, as I talk to you, I'm sat in my music room.
Yeah,
and whatever house I'm going to go to, whatever house I moved into in Cardiff, my first reaction was like, right, where it can be the music room. Don't care where I'm sleeping. Where's the music room going to go?
Yeah, I can get that.
It's never going to change. It's never going to change. But so when I take music, I'm going to take that step back. I think, oh wow, okay, that sounds really cool. So if I take Lights and Escapades, for example, like sonically, absolute load of crap. I'm the first one to put my hand up, thinking how that sounds in comparison to what's on Spotify and iTunes. Like the professionalism on how that was recorded was dog shit. And I don't mind saying that, because obviously I did it and I know what professional sounds like. But there's not one part of me that regrets recording it like that, because it's a learning curve for me. And I don't regret writing those songs or those style of songs at all, because I was influenced by music during that time. So I wrote music with my own twist, which obviously sounds somewhat similar. And that's what most musicians do these days. They listen to a certain producer, they listen to a certain artist, and they take their influence from there. Or they listen to a certain scenario, they see something going on in the news, they write about it. And that's exactly what I did for Lights and Escapades. I was listening to a lot of John Mayer, a guy called Ben Rector. Kind of began my love for Ryan Adams on his songwriting and his dulcet tones, and how everything was just so stripped but so powerful. I thought, wow, that's just so moving. So that's how I started to kind of shape my own sound, essentially. Yeah. So as I kind of grew older, kind of moved through the ranks of my production stuff, worked with other artists in terms of recording, not so much songwriting, but obviously try and support them as much as I can as well. You'll definitely hear an evolution on the recording techniques in comparison to Bloodstream, which is my first album, to Lights and Escapades. You'll definitely hear how it's changed sonically. And when I get the new album Vida, it's another step up again. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Yeah. Very interesting journey.
Yeah, it's almost like a life story as well, isn't it? Of your albums, of where you've been and where you're now at.
It's not like a family album. It's like a sonic album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's just weird how things stay with you. So I won't harp on too much about like the EP, but one of the songs.
By the way, you can carry on as long as you like, because this is all about you, this episode. So you carry on.
Okay, just rein me in.
Okay.
So I did one song called Lights and Escapades, first track on the EP. And I remember I was sat in my arts conservatory and I had that kind of opening riff on the acoustic guitar. And I was due to go to my friend's studio. I think it was in like the next 2 days or something. I was like, I really, really want to like take something down to make a really good day of it. But during that entire process, I just parted ways with like my foot. Well, can I describe it? Probably like the third love of my life, but like the proper. This is it. You're the one I want for the entire rest of my life.
Yep.
For 5 years, gone. Like it just ended. So I was not in a good place.
No,
but
I can understand that.
Yeah, it's brutal, absolutely brutal. So I had this song kind of prepped and drove to Oxford. I went to go see my friend Mike, who appears on a number of songs on that EP, and then we are still getting messages from my girlfriend, well, from my ex-girlfriend at the time, because we're trying to transition away from each other. And came up with this song, and Mike helped me kind of shape it a little bit. And then I say studio, he literally has this incredible little room, and then you open the door and he's got the garage, which he used as his live space. And his setup is very much different now. And so back then he had these drums set up. I literally slide the door open and he's looking right at me. I'm like, "You right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Slide the door, back recording. And there's this one fill that he does. It's like a big like snare fill, like and then he does this like, how can I describe it? Like some cymbal like splashes, like one cymbal, another cymbal, back to the ride. That memory is always going to stick with me.
Yep.
Because I just remember sat there listening to my song on the laptop whilst one of my closest friends is recording for me. I'm like, this is the best feeling ever. And it's essentially about leaving my ex-girlfriend, but the whole attitude of it completely changed to something that's really positive. And I think that, again, that just harnesses my point on Back to Music and how it's so subjective. Like, for one song, that will be the absolute world to me, could be the absolute detriment to somebody else. So yeah, like every song is just, it's so meaningful to me. That definitely carried through to Bloodstream as well. I don't think it's carried as much into Vida. There's still, well, most of the songs are very subjective. They're about certain things that's happened, whether that's during like what we've witnessed now through COVID, what I've seen through what's happening with my friends, what's happened to myself.
Sorry.
A few songs are going to wake people up. You go, "Are you bloody blind? Or look what's going on."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an audio book. No, not an audio book. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not a photo album. It's an audio album.
Yes.
There's got to be a smart word for that, surely.
There's got. Unfortunately, you're asking me, so don't know. But yes, definitely. So yeah, it's like a picture by picture, but with audio. So there you go. That's exactly what you're trying to say.
It's like an audio book, but not.
Yeah.
There we go. That is the campaign. It's like an audiobook, but not.
I love it. I love that campaign. If only, yeah, if only politicians could have the same campaign, hey? Just to tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't get into politics. Politics is bad. So obviously you said a lot about, your journey and whatnot, but was there a specific point that you can remember that you wanted to get into the music industry?
Yes. It was in secondary school, and it came to the point where we had to choose our options for GCSE.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, no brainer, music. And it was at a point in my life where all of my friends like heavily into music, whether that's in school or friends outside school, going to gigs and just getting into that kind of scene. And I think this is very hard for in today's culture, because at such a young age you have to determine what you want to do for the rest of your life, and I think it's absolutely shocking. So
it's insane, isn't it?
It's just mental. It's just absolutely mental. But yeah, all I wanted to do was just perform. I did it in school. I had my first. I started singing for the very first time in front of like 200 people in school, and from then on, I'm like, yep, this is what I want to do in my life. But unfortunately, I think myself, my family just didn't know what the next kind of step was. And because of like how my parents kind of been brought up, it's like, right, you go to school, go to sixth form, go to university, get a job. Whereas for me, in hindsight, I should have gone, right, go to school, go to a music college, kind of start doing like other bits and bobs, but it's more music focused. And then from there, see what I want to do, how I'm going to get to perform. Because you can't go to university and then go, yep, you're now ready, you're qualified to be a professional musician. This is not the case at all. So when I look back, as much as I love doing that music degree, it hasn't really put me in a good place in terms of what I want to do for the rest of my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. But
yeah,
I suppose
so
at least it encouraged the bug, I suppose, didn't it?
Yeah, I think there's, if you kind of take that step back, there's going to be so many pros and cons to each kind of journey. Yeah. But it's just fate at the end of the day. It purely is. I don't regret doing the course. I just wish that I probably put a bit more effort in terms of pursuing the dream. Yeah. I think what I've got right now is more of a hybrid kind of model. Like, okay, so I managed to get a job, which has allowed me to buy a house, and then obviously allow me to have this incredible little music room. But then on the other hand to that, I'm still releasing music. I'm still releasing albums. When the time comes, I can hopefully perform live to a crowd. So yeah, I've kind of got that hybrid model, which I feel very fortunate because obviously given today's circumstance, if I was a professional musician, I'd be absolutely screwed because obviously what we're all up against.
Yeah.
So I need to take a bit more composure, I think, when I kind of think back into what I've kind of gone through. But from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to perform. I mean, I remember when I was like a little boy, when I grew up in Devon, I think I was about 3 or 4 years old. I'd sing into a cassette recorder with my guitar. Stop, jump on my bike, cycle around the cul-de-sac like I was on a tour bus, get back to the house, press record again, and then sing, and just rinse, repeat. So, I mean, if I'm doing that at 3 and I'm now 33, pretty certain music's going to be with me till I die.
I think it will be, even if it's not in, like in a massive aspect, like it still be, you never know, you might, hopefully this will all take off and you'll be able to, pursue the dream that you're really after. But maybe, you could become a music teacher or something like that. It's so many avenues, isn't there?
You just don't know. I think there's been many occasions where I think, am I doing the David Brent? Do you know what I mean when I say doing the David Brent? Have you seen the film?
Haven't, sorry.
There's so in the David Brent film is when he literally puts his entire savings onto a tour and he tries to sell the tour and no one goes.
Oh no.
He's hired all these musicians and they just absolutely think he sucks. And there's been many occasions like, am I David Brenting this?
Oh no.
So yeah, hopefully I'll never David Brent it. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I listen to musicians, I listen to what's being played on the air, and you're your own worst critic. And again, I'm happy to put my hand up and say, look, I don't sing like Ed Sheeran. I know people resonate with music because of how that person sings. I am not the best singer in the world. I will never be the best singer in the world. But can I write a good song? I like to think I can. Can I write a perfect song? I probably don't think I can. But again, that's your point of view, and this is my point of view.
Yes.
And if I could ever make a living where I support songwriting, so I know loads of people who do songwriting. Obviously, you've got the joys of social media. You can see who writes for like Beyonce and Ed Sheeran, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that kind of capacity. I'd love to be a songwriter or have a hand in that process. That would do me fine.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, hopefully, in some ways, though, I don't I'm sorry, I don't know how to phrase this. And there's also a helicopter.
Go for it.
There's also a helicopter going across my house at the moment as well. It's been circling, so there's a prison nearby. So that's probably.
Are you sure this is a podcast, not pirate radio?
I wish it was pirate radio. Pirate radio was amazing. Well, it sounded like it was amazing going by the Boat That Rocked. Anyway, I'm a bit too young to know for definite. In some ways, your songs and your lyrics are so powerful and so wonderful that I almost don't want to hear somebody else sing them, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. It is an interesting one. I mean, if I was to sell one of my songs to somebody, then great.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all, as long as obviously you get the necessary recognition. Not that I'm saying that when you release a single, put my face in the bottom left-hand corner and go, this guy wrote the song.
Yeah.
Not that at all. It's all about credits, isn't it, for these days?
Yeah.
But I do get your point. I mean, I'm always eager to work with other artists just because I know how much fun it is.
Yeah.
But then, if I heard someone else singing like my song, I'd be like, no, I'm going to take that one back.
Yeah, it's my baby. Because
you can't sing Fool's Gold. It's you don't know what it's about. You can't do it. It's going to be me.
Yeah, exactly. So, and sort of two questions with that is, if you could collaborate with another artist, who would it be and why?
Oh my God, that's a great question.
Thanks. That's a newbie as well.
Wow. I've never thought of that. It's Jesus. How do I answer this one?
Sorry.
I'm going to throw a curveball. I'll probably say Gary Barlow.
Oh yeah.
It's weird. Again, this is how I think it's probably a musician's point of view. So one of my things I love to do is go on YouTube and see how bands created that song, how they went into the production and yada, 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 yada. Mm-hmm. So Bring Me the Horizon, cracking example with their EP they just done. They documented it and it's really insightful and I love that kind of stuff. And if I probably wouldn't be watching that 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have given a crap about Gary Barlow or Take That or whatever. But this is just me as a musician. I listen to like Greatest Day by Take That, for example. I absolutely love that song.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect written song. It's just so catchy. The melody is there. It's simple. And the chorus is freaking huge. And I love it. And the production is insane. If you go back to like Relight My Fire, like, nope, no way. That is not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It does not. Nope. No, see ya. I'm going to run away from that one.
The one Take That song, well, not one Take That song that I liked, because to be honest, I was quite a Take That fan when I was a lot younger. I started like in heavy metal when I was about 14, 15. So it was, they were probably the last pop band that I really liked.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy, isn't it? How your music, just your tastes change. So Patience, for example, the reason why I love that song is the harmony. Like, it's just so spot on, and I love that kind of stuff because it's the bread and butter of the music. But then again, with music tastes, on my walk earlier, I was listening to Bring Me the Horizon, like with baby metal, and I love that. Absolutely love that track. Like, it blew my mind. I remember when they released it, and I put it in the car. I was laughing because I had no idea what I was listening to, but I was loving it. Oh God, it's so cool. So cool. I think we're getting on top of it a little bit. So yeah, Gary Barlow, definitely love to work with him because obviously he's a musical genius. And it'd be great to kind of see what we could write together. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be so much.
he could be on the piano and you could be on the guitar.
Definitely be on the piano. Yeah, definitely be on the piano. But I was going to say, I know where he lives, but I'm familiar with whereabouts he lives. So we drove past his location. I was half tempted to drop off like an album, like, "Hi, Gary, listen to my music."
Oh, well, I know from experience that, I mean, obviously it's probably obvious that he's quite a private man anyway, but, because he once, I was working at a hotel and, he once stayed at the hotel and we kept getting press calling up saying about it, but because his wife or girlfriend, actually checked in and then he snuck in. we didn't actually, none of the staff knew he was actually there because it was only an overnight stay. But so, yeah, we were going, no, he's not here. He's not here. I don't know what you're talking about, you know, like to all the press and stuff, genuinely meaning it. We actually didn't actually know that he was really there. So
how interesting.
Yeah. So I think because he'd come, I think it was like a family wedding or so. It was a wedding anyway, definitely. So he was either a friend or family member or something. But yeah, it was insane. The fact that he was there, but nobody knew he was actually there.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's a sneaky one, that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So just pop it into his letterbox maybe and stick a note on it and then he'll get it.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Well, I tried a new tactic with Vida. So I used to work in sales quite a bit, so I was very good at getting people's details, finding out the right person who I needed to speak to. So I found his management and I emailed his management, but again, I've never heard back. But you just need to think of different avenues when it comes to getting hold of people. You have to be stupidly patient in this industry. Like Fool's Gold, I completed May, maybe. And I released it last month, back end of last month. So the fact that I sat on it for 6 months, I don't know how I did that. To be openly honest with you, no idea how I did that.
I don't know why you did it either, because now I've got it. Now I've been listening to it and stuff. It's an amazing song. So, and you've very kindly said that I'm going to be able to put it at the end of the episode for the Salted Tadpoles to listen to as well, because.
Of course, yes, yeah, of course, yeah. It's great fun recording it.
Yeah. It's really, really catchy as well because it's one of those like toe tapping kind of songs.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the only songs where I created a bit of a brief. I don't approach my songwriting and go, right, this song is going to be about a surfboard on a VW camper going to Antigua. I've never ever done that at all. There's always been a bit more of a high level overview. I'm thinking, I'd love this to be a bit of a summer vibe, and then that's as far as I'll go. Try and create that summer vibe song, and it could be the fact that I listen to other music that kind of for that production inspiration. Probably not so much songwriting. I think songwriting, I may look at the kind of structure, because sometimes when you're writing by yourself, the only negative I can really think of is because you become so tunneled into your songwriting process because you've got no one to kind of bounce ideas with. It's all on you.
Yep.
So it's good to have these kind of reference things. But I remember I heard a production, I can't remember who the artist was now. And it's so simple. The kick was like dum, 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 dum. Like, oh. God, that's actually really cool. And then I heard the chords. I'm like, okay, they're not too fancy. They're not skidding all over the place. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But obviously I didn't want to go, right, let's copy and paste that bad boy and let's put my name on it, because what's the point? That's how you fall behind.
Yes, exactly.
I want to make my own sound. I want people to go, that's a Matt Roberts track. That's cool. So I remember just, trying to cover with the riff on the guitar. Initially I wanted to put on the acoustic, but it just sounded so lifeless. So I got one of my other guitars and my electric, my Strat, which obviously made the track, and it just sounded sonically different. I'm like, oh, wicked. Okay, this sounds really cool. And then depending on how you tweak the guitar, how you manipulate the sound, sometimes it sounds like absolute crap, but other times I've got this nailed. I absolutely love this. I'm going to persevere. And that's how Fool's Gold started to get written. I never really start with lyrics at all. I usually get the entire song done. Then I do lyrics, because I cannot stand writing lyrics.
Ah, okay. I was wondering where the process was going with that. Yeah. So yeah.
It's horrific. There's so I was faffing around, I think it was yesterday actually, on a work in progress folder where I've got about 10 songs. One of them is 7 years,
sounds good.
10 years old. Yeah, it's cool. It's about 10 years old, this song, because I've never been able to put lyrics to it. I love how I've recorded the guitars. the structure, how the melody kind of goes up and down and takes the listener through a bit of a journey. Every time I do a vocal take, I'm like, that sounds rubbish. Do another one like a month later. God, that sounds rubbish. I just can't put pen to paper with it. Whereas with Fool's Gold, and other songs. So, on Bloodstream, I have a song called Murky Sky. That is absolutely a gigantic song. I remember setting up my studio, and then like 5 minutes, I had lyrics done. I'm like, okay, that came from nowhere. That freaked me out. Like, holy hell. Clearly needed to get that off my conscience somehow.
Yeah. It's amazing when that kind of thing happens though, isn't it?
Freaky though. It's so freaky. But yeah, I mean, quickly to compare, Bloodstream is a very personal album. A lot of, how can I phrase it? Probably just a lot of hurt was stemmed from that.
Yes.
Whereas Vida was a bit more positive. Fool's Gold was kind of inspired by one of my closest friends on some pain that he was kind of going through, to a point where I was just listening to a bit of drums on the song, just kind of rounding things off, to a point where I was picking up the phone going, are you okay? What's going on? What's happened now? And then that kind of stemmed the lyrics, essentially, for exactly what he's going through. And he was getting scrutinized, criticized every single day by this one person.
Yeah, that's
which is horrible. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. But yeah, it's one of those songs where you listen to the first time, you think, okay, yeah, that's quite cool. Hopefully you think it's cool.
Yeah.
But then I really implore you to kind of sit down, get some decent headphones, or get a decent hi-fi, take it to your favorite volume, probably crank up a little bit more, and just sit there and listen to the lyrics, because it's not about me. It's about one of my friends, and it's about what he's gone through in a relationship. And I really want that to resonate with other people as well, in case they've gone through some crap with them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fool's Gold was really easy.
Yeah.
Because my friend was in pain. Oh, it's brilliant.
Using other people's misfortunes.
Yeah. You're in pain, let me write about you.
Yeah.
No. But again, it goes back to that photo book kind of thing. When I listen back to this song in 10 years' time, if I have kids then, I could sit them down and go, do you know what this song is about? And then I could tell them about it. And I can remember sat at my desk going, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, love that song.
Yeah, I really love that song as well, to be honest. So, I mean, I've heard quite a few of them, and it gets the last sort of 2 or 3 days prior to our first recording. Yeah, I'd sort of binge listened to your songs and things. So really, really great. And what I like about them is the fact that you seem to cater for all types of music in some ways, which you've kind of covered already, but it's, cause like me, who likes the more upbeat kind of rocky kind of songs, and, you know, there's something for me sort of thing. Whereas the softer songs that are amazing, and I hope you don't mind me saying softer, but you know what I mean, gentle songs. They're really, really good, and they're really, really powerful as well. But then maybe not quite my cup of tea, because of the fact that I prefer the upbeat stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That does not take away from any of the music that you've produced at all, because it's truly brilliant. So,
well, that's the thing again. It's subjective. It goes back to that point. For what will resonate for you will not resonate for me. And like Murky Sky. So that song is about leaving my girlfriend, who had a daughter who I raised. Like, I taught the girl to swim, how to ride a bike. Like, I was a pivotal point in her life. Like, I taught her how to swim. I did so many things for her. And yet I had to pull the trigger on leaving that dynamic, because literally within the space of 5 minutes, I saw from one conversation, the entire family world crashed. It was weird, man. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that door close and seeing her turn around, and I just knew, like, there's literally no future in this now anymore because of what you've just done. And it's all about heartbreak. It's all about leaving those girls. And to this day, my mum goes, it's such a lovely song. "Oh, you should sell your lyrics. It's such a lovely song." Like, Mummy, do you know what that's about? So yeah, I completely get what you mean. And that just really personifies me as a writer. I don't pigeonhole my writing to go, right, this album is going to be pure death metal. Yeah. If I said that, a lot of people would be like, whoa, what, dude? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just going to do a crap ton of death metal. I mean, as much as I love some metal, I don't really want to write death metal because I know I'm not good at it.
Fair enough.
But when it comes to the more sultry kind of stuff, I know I am good at it because I've practiced my production techniques. I've practiced songwriting in that kind of area. So I know that I can do some form of justice.
Yeah.
And again, with every kind of album, it's always been a challenge. So on Vida, I've done a rocky album, whereas before I'm like, oh God, I'm going to steer away from this because I know I can't produce this one as well. But this time I just kind of had to rip the plaster off and go, you know what, dude, you're going to have to on this track. You're going to have to deliver it. And yeah, that just goes, it's going to be a constant theme in all of my albums. There'll be songs where it's just me and the guitar. There'll be songs where it's like, where's the guitar? There'll be songs where are you singing? It's just who I am. And yeah.
And do you have you got bandmates, or are you kind of like a solo artist that's, can play all of the instruments, or?
Yeah, it's all me.
It's all you. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it's all me. So taking into exception on Lights and Escapades, my friend Mike plays drums on a couple of the tracks. But moving on from that EP onto this first album, onto the second album, it's literally all me. So when it comes to the drums, I don't have the luxury of A, the budget, B, the studio space, or C, the talent enough to play drums as good as I want to play. I mean, I can play them, but I can't shred on them. So it's all about manipulating like drum programming.
Okay. Awesome.
And it's so many great products out there in today's world of recording technology, but it's always been the same drum program. And this is what I've been trying to hit home as well in recording. So you listen to Bloodstream, you listen to the rocky songs, and it doesn't sound like a typical rock song, because the way it's been produced, like everything sounds like it's down one tunnel.
Yeah.
Whereas I then kind of expanded on that, and now everything sounds a bit wider. And that's because I've just been trying to harness my skill a little bit more. Like, it's all well and good having a tool to use it, but I'm always thinking, okay, I've done that, but how can I really make it better? That's exactly what I've done for Vida. Like, I've done the song, I think, cool, but how can I make it better?
Yeah.
I can really polish this off.
You really are your worst critic, can't you?
100%. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely horrific.
If it helps, I'm exactly the same with this podcast. So,
yeah, I know, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It really is a weird one. But yeah, at the same time, it's fun. But then I feel like I'm really lost in what to do. Like, yes, I've written an album. Oh, I've written an album. I've got nothing to do now.
Yeah. Well, you have, because all the work really starts now, because now you've got to promote it.
Now I've got to promote it, but I just miss the journey. Like, this album Vida has just been so many curveballs. I was challenged twice to write some songs, and I did it. And weirdly, one of them got played by the BBC the same day I completed it. I'm like, okay, that was cool. So yeah, I got challenged to write a song in 24 hours. I got challenged to write a bit more of an upbeat song, which is going to be my next single, called Someone Told Me. So that's out this coming Friday.
So that would be
27th.
Sorry, the 7th.
27th.
Oh, the 27th. So all right, so it's already out, Salty Tadpoles. So because this will be coming out on Sunday.
It's already out.
So it's already out, guys. So yeah, go to all the iTunes. We'll go through all where you can get stuff in a moment, but yeah, go to like iTunes and Spotify and all of the music apps and download. Come on, guys.
Yeah, stream. Yeah. I've put so much effort into this. I spent hours yesterday with Spotify making like little animation videos.
Oh, wow.
So when you get to Fool's Gold now, I've animated myself. So yeah, I've put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into this. So yeah, it's a great process. I'm already missing it. I don't really want to say goodbye to Vida because I'm completely besotted with
it. But now, but then if you can say goodbye to it, which you are, it means that we can all become besotted with it. So
that's
you.
The hope.
Yeah.
That is the hope.
And you referenced BBC Music then. So how did you actually get involved with BBC Music?
Yeah, cracking question. So it's BBC introducing, so they try to support local artists as much as they can to some extent. And I first came across them when I was in Cardiff. So when I was writing all of these like instrumental songs, I was giving them my stuff. I thought, why are they not airing my stuff? So that's because no one's bloody singing on it. Who's going to listen to 3.5 minutes of just music with no words?
Although I can't think of their names right now, but I can think of quite a few bands that have actually done that.
They are. Yeah, there's loads. Tosca's one of them.
Yeah.
Like absolutely insane. Like, whew, oh my God. But again, I wasn't getting into that niche, and I wasn't good enough to be in that niche because that's like beyond music theory for me. So I kind of found it in Cardiff, and then I quickly realised that it was going nowhere fast, so I kind of stopped. I don't think I gave them any music when I was in Bristol. It really started to come to fruition when I moved to Worcestershire, and I wrote a song called Mickery on Lights and Escapades, and it's the very last song on the EP. Okay. And again, instrumental. I was literally just faffing around one night. I thought, that's really cool. So I just kept playing away with it. It developed into like fully fledged song. I was like, sweet. Actually, this could do a bit of something else. So I got my girlfriend at the time to record over it. So she's on it, which I'm very proud of. Like, I don't look back in any disdain at all. I'm super happy with what we did together on that.
That's good. Yeah.
And then, sent it off to BBC. And the process, like, you get an email saying, we've listened to your song. You're like, oh my God, I listened to my song. I've never had this before. This is amazing. And you don't really think of it then. And they air music on Saturday night. And had a few drinks on the Saturday, went to bed, woke up on the Sunday, had an email saying, we aired your song last night. Like, what? You did what? And the first thing first, they give you the link. Go, here's the link. Click to listen to it now. So you listen to it and you click on the Safari or your browser, and you got like a 2-hour show. And like, I'm not going to listen to 2 hours of this, dude. I just want to hear my stuff.
Yeah.
So I was scrubbing through the little slider, and then I heard that opening riff, and I remember crying my eyes out. I just remember like it was yesterday, because to me, that's the best thing I'll ever achieve. And it was the best feeling ever.
Aww.
Like, I had my song, and right at the end, Andrew was like, that was Matt Roberts. Like, oh my God. My name was just said by BBC on the radio. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he's like, that was Matt Roberts with Mickery. His influences stem from. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. and that's how it kind of started, really. Every time I wrote a song and I was super happy with it, I'd give it to the BBC, and sometimes they'd air it, sometimes they wouldn't. It's just luck of the draw. They get to decide what they're going to wear.
Yep.
And that's how I eventually got into it. But kind of like I mentioned earlier with Vida, trying to like message like people's management and stuff, going, I think if you like him, you're going to like me as well. I emailed them directly and said, hi, Andrew, you played like 11 songs now, mate. I'm actually releasing this on this date, like on the day you're airing. It'd be great if you could air it, or better still, get me in for an invite, and we'll have a little chin wag. And unfortunately, I couldn't really persuade him to have a conversation. The kind of feedback is like, we usually invite artists and not the other way around.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to sit on my ass. I'm quite tenacious. If I want to get something done, I'm going to ask you, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
So launch day came around for Fool's Gold, and it just blew up. Like, oh my God, I just was not expecting it. I had quite a few friends on my Facebook kind of share I had loads of my friends message me saying, this song's amazing. Like, really? You think it's amazing? Like, yeah, I've played it 20 times. Like, you've played it 20 times? Like, wow. Okay. I had family in Australia sending me a snapshot of my video. Like, this is really freaky, man. Like, this is really freaky. As much as I love it, really freaky still.
Yeah.
And I got an email on Saturday saying we played Fool's Gold. Like, yes, I'm so happy. But the show was still going. He was still like airing the show. And I clicked on the link. I listened back to it. There's a video of me. I think it's on my personal Instagram. I can't remember. And that was literally the cherry on top of the cake for me. It was in the evening. I was knackered because I was just so full of adrenaline, getting all these messages saying, dude, you've nailed it. Love this song. And then, yeah, he said, right. And I heard that little intro, that little reverse guitar.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, this is me. He goes, right, next up, we've got Matt Roberts with Fool's Gold. And it's out today. They put so much emphasis on it. Like, he knew that I wanted to be there, but obviously I couldn't be there because he's got so many other artists he's got to promote.
Yeah.
But the fact that he promoted it in that way was just as good.
Yeah, exactly. So he put the energy in there for you, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And that's just what music's about these days. Like, it's all. I think I said it on Tom's podcast. Like, you get so many manufactured bands who want to fit into that niche because they know that niche sells, and that particular niche happens to be like sex and boobs.
Yeah.
And it's, unfortunately, the music industry is very much of who you know. That's as much as it is. I know if I had this one producer say, I listen to this song, guys, you'll love it, my Instagram would blow up. My Facebook would go nuts. I'd probably get offers to go and record with them because of who he is as an individual.
Yeah.
Because that's how the world works. And as much as it sucks, it really is.
It's the good old saying of, it's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it?
Yeah. Spot on. And if I was to kind of look back, I really wish Fool's Gold had more success, because the initial signs were there. So I'm a huge believer in fate as an individual. So I actually reached out to this said producer, and I kind of said to him, like, I'm new to mastering. So mastering, I'm not sure how much you know, is like, once you've done a song, you then mix the song to make all the levels kind of sound good.
Okay.
And you then take it to mastering, which is like taking a shoe, but then you polish that shoe. You make spick and span.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me his rates, and it was more than my mortgage.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like, dude, I can't afford that at all. So he goes, okay, just give me the song and I'll show you what it will do. So he gave it back to me, and I went, you've literally just enhanced it like a million times. I can't believe I wrote this. Like, I can't, this is me. Like, oh my God, this is me.
Yeah. And
he said, mate, it's a really good song. I keep tapping my feet to it. I keep singing it. Like, whoa, that's really? He's like, yeah, it's a good song. I hope, okay. This is a guy who's produced Motorhead, Bullet for My Valentine, loads of big stuff. So
yeah,
I took that with a pinch of salt. So that was kind of like clue number one. Clue number two was my friend Mike, who's the drummer on Lights and Escapades on a couple of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a session drummer. He's played with some very big musicians. Gaz Coombe has been probably the biggest off the top of my head. So the guy from Supergrass, the lead singer from Supergrass.
Oh yes, yep.
So Mike is, if I want honest advice, open honest advice, I'd be like, Mike, what do you think of this? And he tried to get a couple of songs scrapped from Vida, but I just absolutely loved them. For someone told me, he said, mate, just persevere and see what happens. Just persevere. Because I was going to get rid of it. I had delete prepped on someone told me. I just could not get anything out of it. So when I gave him Fool's Gold, he said, this is the best songwriting you've ever done. I'm like, wow, okay, this is freaky. I've got like one of my best friends saying to me, it's the best songwriting you've ever done. Got this huge music producer saying, this song's really catchy. This is really cool. So that's why I put so much effort into creating like the little videos, little promo videos in my spare time. That's why I did all the countdowns. That's why I did all social media. But I just feel that there's this one more push. I don't know what it is. I just wanted to give that one more oomph.
Yeah, and it was coming on this podcast to talk to me, wasn't it?
This is it.
Yeah.
This is where your podcast will elevate me to complete stardom and songwriting, Gem.
Yeah, it will. It will. I promise.
Mate, be monumental to my career.
Okay, right. So Tuples, get on it quick. don't let him know that we're fake. No, we're not a fake podcast, really. But no, it's all sounds really fun, to be honest, because it's. I mean, it's obviously a lot of work as well. And do you find it hard juggling? Because you said obviously you've got a job as well. Do you find it hard juggling sort of work with your real work, which you'd like to call your real work, your music?
No, not really. It's quite painful sometimes though, because where I'm sat now, my desk, to my left, I've got my acoustic guitar case, and to my right, I've got all of my guitars, a mic stand, and my little studio set up, and I work in here every single day. So slowly I've kind of climatized to not feel the urge to pick up a guitar. Maybe I do if I need to stretch my legs because I'm sat down for so long.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a problem in the slightest.
Oh, that's good.
I'm always racking my brain though, like, what do I have left to do? Like, have I scheduled my social media posts? Like, yeah, I've done that. Okay. Like, I've got a spreadsheet. If anything, my work has helped me with my music because I'm so much more organized in how I've been with Fool's Gold and how I've been with Vida and Someone Told Me because of the work I do. So Ben, it's actually been really good. And
what is it you actually do on a, what is it you actually do for work?
So I work, how can I phrase this? So it's kind of like project management for a very large retail company.
Okay.
For a very, 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 very large retail company. So yeah, project management kind of helps when it comes to releasing an album.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
I might come to you for some tips.
It's fine, no problem.
Definitely. So you've talked about, obviously, your single, sorry, what was the single called that came out Friday?
Someone Told Me.
Someone Told Me, sorry. So you've said that that's obviously out now, so, you're going to have lots of downloads from our lovely tadpoles. And myself, of course, as well. And
of course.
Yeah, what's in sort of the new album as well. So, is there anything else sort of coming up? Have you got any stage performances or anything like that you're going to be? Well, I know you can't really go out and do stage performances, or is that something that you do actually? I
think I'd love to get back into it.
Yeah.
When I did the Bloodstream cycle, it was really hard to kind of get musicians on board because you need to go through the rigmarole of rehearsing.
Yeah.
Then you need to ensure that these people that you're going to be meant to be helping you to actually learn the songs that you've written. Yeah. And it is super painful to do. Like, I hate relying on people to help me sometimes because the effort I put in, I want to see that at the same time because it's a passion of mine. I wouldn't say it's my livelihood, but I've invested half of my life into this.
Yes. It's not a hobby for you, is it?
It's not a hobby at all. No, not at all. I kind of I treat music like it's my child.
Yes, very well done. That's good.
So when I did Bloodstream, I used a music program, Ableton, like loads of big bands use it these days. The best way to describe it, if you go to like a Bring Me the Horizon gig, you have all this lighting show happening. Yes. You have like all this music happening before the actual main track. And it's run by a program.
Yeah.
You can literally press spacebar and you can stop the entire show. It's that like, oh my God, you got to be so careful with it. So essentially I use this program, to create my live shows. But obviously you go to a gig like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And instead of the bass drum going, doof, 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 it's literally like, pih, 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 pih. It's atrocious.
Yeah. It's like,
but you know what? I loved it regardless. I had the opportunity to play my music. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to invest into it. I'm going to do the best I possibly can because that's all I can do.
Exactly.
So with this cycle of Vida, I'd love to play shows. I've been invited to play in Cheltenham. I was maybe playing this month to play a set, but because of lockdown, I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's going to be happening in December, but it's kind of fine. I've got 2 musicians lined up. Who would be able to support me. But again, it's getting into that process of booking time in at a rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
I've worked with them very closely, so I know that they'll give their 110% to support me on my music. Excuse me. And they'll get paid for it as well. So it's in their interest if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, to answer your question, Jim, yeah, I'd love to play this live 100%. Like I literally thought about it on my walk after work today. I think if I was to start this show live, what song would I start with? Would I start with the first track on the album, or would I start with Someone Told Me? I don't know.
I think have Someone Told Me at the end, because then it keeps them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And the way that music's obviously being crafted now is that it's no longer just plug and play like the Arctic Monkeys who just started.
Yeah.
Because those days are gone. Those days music has matured. It is now you'll go see bands and there will be someone still on stage with a laptop, or you'll look at the drummer and like, why has he got a laptop? Because they're using that music program to thicken their sound. I will put money on it.
Yeah.
I will put money on it.
It's quite funny.
It creates.
Also,
sorry,
I was going to say it's quite funny actually, because like as a person who's not, is there for sort of listen to the music kind of thing, but that's it. I wouldn't necessarily see that, but yeah, it's when you're actually in that kind of line of work, so to speak. Yeah, you do tend to see all the different things.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Yeah. And that's just, you need to be a mature musician. It's so great. Don't get me wrong. You're never going to take that element of talent away from a band or an artist who could plug in an acoustic guitar and like, holy shit, man, you just blew us away. That was insane.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be other artists who think, okay, I'm just going to put a bit of gold dust on top of this with Ableton, who I could then enhance my sound. And then they play live and you think, good God, that was amazing. I'll never forget, actually. That's just reminded me. So my friends used to be in a band. He's actually now a solo artist called Man Without Country.
Okay.
Oh my God. Insane music. Like absolutely nuts. And I went on tour with them for a little bit, and they ended up playing the Astoria. No, Brixton Academy.
Oh, wow. I love Brixton.
Yeah, great place. Brixton Academy supporting an electro band called M83. Absolutely huge.
Okay. Don't know that, sorry, but yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's all good. So absolutely gigantic. And everything about them was just tight. Like the music was just, I can go on a complete tangent. But I think it was maybe just before. I think they did like a little warm-up show. They played the Academy in Oxford, and they had these kids who kind of support. It's like a local support band, which kind of happens. You go on your little tour, and then the promoter will get little support bands to kind of come in and help out. I'd play their little set. And these 4 kids, and I literally mean kids, they must have been about 16, maybe a little older. And you had their parents with them. And I'm like, oh God, really? Like, you're supporting Man Without Country? Like, all right, cool, no worries. And they started up, and it was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. They had the right technology, which they needed to make their sound, which I loved. Point number 1. Point number 2, they were themselves. I absolutely adored that, because they're not following the status quo. They're challenging what was currently out there in the ether within music. They're not wanting to go, right, we're going to be like the 1975. They took some elements from 1975, as do I, which I've tried to do myself in production, but they put their own spin on it. And when they've done it, it just sounded incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's good.
That's why I love music. I just love it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so nice to see in such young people as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
just like, although I probably, I don't know about you, but I would be a bit envious as well. I'd be like, if you're doing this at 17 or whatever.
Of course. Yeah, you're always going to get that element though. But I think that's kind of good, because then you kind of take that step back and think, right, damn it, I need to up my game.
Yes.
I remember I did some singing for a guy who calls himself Northern Fur or something. And his vocals were just insane. I was really jealous of how he recorded his acoustic guitar, because I've always struggled to get a really good sound. So I was like, dude, your acoustic guitar, what have you done? What's your secret? So one, you had a really good acoustic guitar. I was like, damn it, I've got a pretty decent one, but I know the one you've got is absolutely amazing. Yeah. And then two, you had a better microphone as well. I'm like, damn it. Like, shit. So yeah, I think having that kind of, that full frontal nudity of music, thinking, wow, that sounds really good. I now know what I need to do to make my guitar kind of sound on that level, to have that clarity. And if you don't get that challenge, then I think it's a very crucial part to growing as a musician. So, yeah, it's always good to have a bit of adversary.
Yeah, definitely.
A musical challenge.
Definitely. Right. Well, I think this is a sort of good way to sort of wrap up the episode, if you don't mind, unless there's something else that you wanted to discuss.
No, there's nothing at all.
Yeah, I think we've covered all things there, but yeah, it was really, really nice to speak to you. But before you go, what's your social media information and whatnot? And where can people get the songs?
Absolutely fine. So you can go on my Instagram, which is mattrobertsmusic. And my Facebook, I think on Matt Roberts music page, because Matt Roberts, the personal trainer, has actually already stolen that, the little bugger. But yeah, if you just go onto Spotify or Apple Music or every other kind of provider, just type in Matt Roberts, and you should see my ominous picture. I tried to do the blue steel.
Okay.
Look out for the blue steel, and I'll be there.
Okay. Yep, we'll look there. We'll look out for it. Well, like I was trying to say a minute or two ago, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you. Not it's been nice speaking to you, because nice didn't seem very good.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been really enjoyable, Jem. Really enjoyed it.
You're absolutely welcome. You're welcome back anytime, but not too soon. Okay.
Not too soon. Did you record it this time?
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to ask that question. Yes, I have. I've recorded your audio, my audio, and the Skype recording, because I am not letting this one die.
Good.
Okay, well, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. My name is Gemma.
I've been Matt Roberts.
You have. Well done. You knew what to do this time.
I did.
It's a shame I haven't got the embarrassing version.
Can you spell it out for me? Can you tell me how to breathe, so I can skip this round of knocking me off my feet? Pray to God for the ones you love, one last time, the ones you trust. A broken enemy on the sea of your broken dreams. Mercy to me, color through all your lovers, painted gold, fool's gold. Mercy to me, color through all your lovers, painted gold, fool's gold. Goon.